Back with my fourth Q&A ever. It's been a few weeks. I think I'm going to just do them like every 2 or 3 weeks, something like that. And it's been about almost 3 weeks. So let's get started, man. Let's jump right into it. Do you think Keith stops Danny in the later rounds? From notable YouTube user 24. Yeah, I think he'd probably end up stopping him around like between the 6th and the 8th round. I really don't even think that's a competitive fight. Whether he stop him or not, he's going to win the fight. Even if it goes to the cards, and I mean, it's going to be a clear-cut win for Keith Thurman. Danny Garcia hasn't shown that he has a weak chin, so, it's kind of hard to just say, yeah, he's going to get knocked out. But I think that Keith Thurman is going to win the fight. If Canelo and Triple G fight in 2017 and Canelo wins, do you believe that will make him the #1 pound-for-pound fighter at the moment? It's so many different factors, man. It's so many things that could happen. Because just say Andre Ward completely dominates Sergey Kovalev and make him look like an amateur, and then he goes and beat Adonis Stevenson. I don't know if just that Triple G win alone would make him #1 pound-for-pound over Andre Ward if Andre Ward was to do all of that. But Canelo's the man. He's the cash cow. So that the money is what matters at the end of the day anyways, right? That pound-for-pound #1 recognition is kind of a way to help a fighter, make money. That's like how you could sell them. So it don't really matter, man. But I don't know, man. I don't think so. But yeah, I don't think so, man. Because when people talking pound for pound, they don't even really think of Canelo. They think of Triple G, but they don't really think of Canelo. And Canelo's not top 10 pound for pound right now. So no, it would make him #1 pound for pound. All right. Let me get a shout out over here repping Washington State, your boy Drez. I'm pro boxer from the Northwest. My question is, what do you think about these young fighters getting taken care of by promoters? What's the right way to build a young fighter up, in your opinion? Andres Reyes. Sorry if I'm saying that right, but shout out to you, man. Keep doing your thing. Okay, what's the right way to build a young fighter up? What do I think about? Okay, that was the first question. What do you think about these young fighters getting taken care of by their promoters? I think the fighters got a job to do. I think the promoters got a job to do. And, some fighters complain about how much money they making, they purse. And, some fighters make more than other fighters. We get the debating back and forth on what certain fighters should make for certain fights. But, at the end of the day, nobody signed that contract but you, as a fighter. So if you feel like you're not getting paid enough, then why would you sign the contract? It's just like the promoter had to invest money into you to make you a bigger name, regardless of what your skill is. They signed you, they believed in you, they invested in you, and they want a return on their investment, so, I kind of got different feelings about different fighters who's turned on their promoters, who made them rich. But, I'm not going to get into that, man, but I think that, promoters is completely necessary. Without a promoter, you're nothing as a boxer. You could be 20-0, but if you don't have a good promoter, or if you don't have any promoter, you ain't nobody. It don't matter what your record is. So these fighters need to show some respect to their promoters. All right, what's the right way to build a young fighter up, in your opinion? When I say this, I'm gonna try real hard to not use the word bum, but it's real easy to use it in this situation when you're talking about fighting from 0-0 and building a fighter up. Because I remember I broke this down and I say like Kell Brook was like the best managed fighter that I've ever seen. Before, since I started covering boxing. So, okay, look, you 0-0. You want to fight all opponents that's like around your record, 0-0, maybe not even 0-0, because you never know. Like Floyd Mayweather and Triple G and Lennox Lewis and Mike Tyson at one point was 0-0. So you want to do a little bit of research on these fighters that you're choosing to fight. Don't just jump in there with anybody. Fighting an undefeated fighter, regardless if they was 0-0, that's dangerous. Go back and watch tape of those fighters that you're choosing to fight. Never take a fight against a fighter and not know anything about them. And for your first 10 fights, you fight all 5. You don't fight nobody who has 10 wins or more, regardless of they losses, unless they done lost probably like 30, 40 or something like that. So you take those fights, man, 0-3, 1-5, 3-9. You know what I'm saying? 5-13. Those type of fights, your first 10. Your second 10, now you try to step it up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? From 10 to 20. From your 10th win to your 20th win. You step it up a little bit. Now you start fighting fighters that's like, you know, maybe 10-3. You fighting fighters that's got winning records now. You don't have to fight all fighters with losing records in your first 10. But make sure they got losses, and you might be able to go back and watch the fight of the fighter that they lost to, just so you can know that you better than that fighter that they lost to. Now, and for the second 10, the 10 to 20, gradually step it up. Now you fighting fighters that's 10-3, you know, 15-5, but they might have lost one of their last 3 or 2 of their last 5. And, you know, if they got knocked out, then, you know, go back and watch that knockout, because maybe they got caught with a shot, but, you know, anybody can get caught with a shot. But, you know, go back and watch unanimous decision losses. You know what I'm saying? That way you can see their weaknesses and go and exploit that. So, you know, it might look like, when people look back at your record, they'll be like, oh yeah, he's stepping it up. But are you really? You know, because you still going and researching these fighters, and you only fighting them because you know that they lost in their last 3 or last 5. And then you can go in there and you know that you can win, because you could probably beat the fighter that beat them. Now you're 20-0. Pretending that you stepped it up, even though when people look back, they won't notice what you did. But you did gradually step it up, to be honest. You know, now you're 20-0. And you working your way up these rankings. Don't go, like if you ranked like number 17 by the WBC, don't go and fight the 13th ranked guy. Being 17th, fight the 16th or the 15th. Maybe even if you want to keep busy, you want to build your record up, the more wins that you get on your record, the better, regardless of, you know, how good the fighter is. So you 17th by the WBC, maybe go and fight the 19th ranked guy. You know, just to stay active. You might be fighting every 2-3 months. You know, you always fight winnable fights. Never take a dangerous fight, because in boxing, a loss will be held against you forever. So, you know, if you do it like that, man, you can go a long ways in the sport of boxing. And, you know, if you do it that way, it might take you more fights to get a title, because it'll take you longer to work your way up the rankings, but you still will work your way up those rankings, and you would eventually get a title shot. And if you was able to win it, you know, a lot of people will forget that you was cherry picking early in your career, because everybody cherry picks early in their career. You know, Deontay Wilder, for example, you know, he fought like all bums his entire fucking career. You know, and now he's a world champion and he's doing really good. You know, Kell Brook fought all bums his entire fucking career. You know, and now he lost to Triple G, but he moved up 2 weight classes to do that. But, you know, he's a really big name now. He just made $5 million fighting Triple G. You know, even if he would have fought his mandatory Errol Spence, he would have got at least $1 million. So, you know, he got there by fighting all bums and then defeating Sean Porter, who's the only name, you know, the only good fight on his record. Other than that, it was all bums. And now, you know, he's a millionaire 5 times over just by the Triple G fight alone. So that's how you do it, man. You'll go a long ways to the sport of boxing. Don't ever take a dangerous fight unless it's a title fight. Do the Kell Brook. Look at his record and do exactly what he did. All right, what do you think about all those fake-ass Floyd fanboys? They only like him because he was a nigga. Now they look like dumbass fools because they recently figured out he was a coon. They was just like them racist channels, defending him because he was black. Just like them racists defend Triple G because he white. Do you agree? Peace. Now, by the looks of your profile, I started not to answer this question. And it's a Fairweather Floyd fan. You got Uncle Ben's and you got the monkey-looking Samuel Jackson picture. So you kind of look like a troll. And I started not to even... I mean, I want to answer everybody. That's what I'm going to respond to. But you actually asked a pretty good question. Let me repeat the question. You know, actually, it's pretty long. Okay, let me say it again, just so I kind of fucked it up. I might have distracted y'all. What do you think about all those fake-ass Floyd fanboys? They only like him because he was a nigga. Now, they look like dumbass fools because they figured out that he was just a coon. They was just like them racist channels, defending him because he was black. Just like the racists defend Triple G because he white. Do you agree? Peace. Yes, I completely agree. You know, and I've been attacked viciously by, you know, a lot of people about dissing Floyd. And, you know, a lot of these people coming out talking about Floyd in these back-to-back videos is really like kind of exposing them for the bias and even the hypocrisy that they've been having carrying on. Like these people They bringing up a bunch of stuff that Floyd was doing like years ago. You know what I'm saying? But you saw what he was doing years ago. You still defending him. You was still riding for Floyd. Why are you bringing up Donald Sterling and Justin Bieber and who else? You know, I mean, you're bringing up all of this shit. You know, and you saw him doing that, and you continue defending him, riding for him, and calling everybody a coon that disagreed with you, or maybe even insulted him. You know, you'll call the white channels racist. You'll call black people coons that insulted him for talking shit about him. Now you're talking shit about him, and you know, you always knew he was a coon because you seen him doing that coonery. You just couldn't defend the All Lives Matter thing. It hit a little bit too close to home, and you threw him under the bus. But, you know, all of these channels, they need to shut up. I made a video about it, and I think it's bullshit. And I think, yeah, they definitely defended Floyd Mayweather because he was black, just like the racist defend Triple G because he's white. It's so many politics in the sport of boxing. It's not only on the YouTube level, it's on the HBO level, the Showtime level. You know what I'm saying? And it's a lot that go on behind the scenes, and these different people's motives, even whether it's a YouTube channel, whether it's a HBO commentator, you know. But me, I seem like I'm doing good with these other channels. I don't really like talk to people that often, and I've never done a collab, but you know, I seem to be getting along pretty good again with everybody, you know, and that's cool, you know. But it could be a matter of time before they turn on me again. It don't matter to me because I'm here for y'all. I'm not here for other YouTube uploaders. It's not what I'm interested in. You know, I wish nobody knew that I existed if they run a YouTube channel. I'm here for boxing fans. But yeah, that's exactly what it is. You know, they knew he was a coon. Look, I knew he was a coon too. You know, these people know exactly what cooning is. You know what I'm saying? Look, Floyd intentionally started being ignorant and started being disrespectful and started flashing his money, throwing his money in the camera, being seen with all of these women. You know what I'm saying? And cursing a lot, and just, you know, you could see it in his face, just how he was acting. You know what I'm saying? It's cooning. You know what I'm saying? He's... Like, you'd be like, who is this ignorant ass coon right here? You know what I'm saying? That's like how he was. That's the old school definition. Nowadays, even if somebody is a sellout, you could call Floyd as a sellout because he knew what he had to do to get to where he wanted to be. So, you know, you can call him a sellout. Look, he made our race look like shit, you know, for money. But he was cooning at the end of the day. Nowadays, if you're doing some Sambo activity, some sellout activity, or some coon activity, everybody just call you a coon. But, you know, really he was cooning. And then when he said, Donald Sterling never said anything offensive to me, that was about, like, you know, he's excusing racism, that the whole NBA threw him under the bus. But, you know, he's never said nothing racist to me. He's just like, fuck these people. You know what I'm saying? Fuck these black basketball stars. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm friends with this billionaire that I might need someday. And then Justin Bieber, who the fuck? Coonery to the 10th level, man. Why are you coming out with Justin Bieber and hanging out with him and shit? You know, you wanted some of those believer fans, you know, those believers to come to your fights, man. He's been doing a lot of shit over the years, man. You know, he was beating on women too, you know, while all of these channels was defending him, you know. But I mean, it's like y'all still defending him. And people attacked me. Shit, he's a coon. I'm talking shit. This dude been selling out his race for so long, man. I could go on and on about Floyd because, you know, I know about all his dirt. I really, used to make a lot of disses on him. And I used to look into a lot of shit that he was doing. You know, but even talking shit about Broner and others, you know, like he's lost a lot of friends close to him. He's really a fucked up person. You know, I mean, you think everybody need to kiss his ass and shit. He's surrounded by a bunch of yes men, and people who consider him as a friend. It's just like sooner or later it don't work out. So, you know, yeah, I think those channels was defending him just because he's black, just like the racists defend Triple G because he's white, and I think boxing fans defend Floyd Mayweather because he's black, and boxing fans defend Triple G because he's white. It's like boxing is like the most racially biased sport of all sports. Is how it is. It's not only channel owners, it's boxing fans. It's the same thing. Do you think Canelo fights Triple G 2017 and who wins, bro? I'm a big fan of Canelo Alvarez. You know, that's a good question, but you know what? I don't even want to see the fight because look, Canelo's fighting at 154 right now, right? He was just at 155. Then he's at 154. Well, look at this right here. I don't want to see it because I think that Canelo would beat Triple G. But he's giving up too much and Triple G he ain't really acting like he wants to do the fight. So, I mean, it's like I'm willing to go up to 160 where you comfortable at. The most you ever made was $5 million and I'm offering you $10 million and you don't want to take it. So, you know, I don't even think he should fight him. He shouldn't give him that fight. He shouldn't give him the opportunity. And then, it's not like the Mayweather-Pacquiao situation because Pacquiao and Mayweather was young then. They could wait. Triple G, he was just getting tagged by a welterweight and busted up. And even himself has said that he only got 2 or 3 years left in the sport of boxing. So, you know, I don't think that we ain't gonna see that fight. You know, and if Triple G take the money, then we'll see it. If he won't take the money, then we won't see it. He's not taking the money. And the clock is ticking. So, you know, I think that Canelo would win the fight, man, pretty easily. Triple G, his defense is lacking, to say the least. He comes forward. He's going to be, you know, Canelo's a great fighter, man. And, you know, the Canelo knockouts look different than the Triple G knockouts. So, you know, a person can't argue that Canelo has more power than Triple G. We haven't seen Triple G fighting backwards. So you're going to fight Canelo coming forward like that with your hands down because that's how he fights. You're going to get knocked out. It's just like, I mean, I can't see a way for Triple G to win that fight. But, you know, I think Canelo will win a fight, but I don't think that we're going to see the fight. I'm going to go up to your weight class and I'm going to give you twice your biggest payday, you know, if you don't want to take it. It's ridiculous. Hey, Travis Gotti, would you ever come to the UK to cover a fight? Much love, bro. Realist out there. Nah, man, I won't even leave LA. And I don't even really cover fights. You see what I do? You know, I go to the fights, but I get drunk as hell and party at the fights. I have a good time. I don't go as media. I never have. And I probably never will because I'm not interested in interviewing any duckers or cherry pickers. And I don't really need to go to the fight for free. You know, I leave that to all of the other, you know, wannabe TMZ promoters or reporters that's on YouTube talking about boxing. I don't need to go to these fights for free. So, no. And, you know, I got in some trouble back in 2005. I got a fleeing and eluding charge. It's a felony. And I didn't pull over when I should have pulled over. And I got charged with a felony, so I might not be able to leave the country. But even if I could, I probably wouldn't. You know, it's a lot of places in America that I want to visit. You know, I'm not really interested in leaving here, but, you know, it sounds good. You know, I've been to Germany, and I was in the Army and a couple other places, but nah, man, I ain't coming all the way to the UK. I won't even go to Vegas for War versus Kovalev, and LA is right next to Vegas. What is it, like 200 or 300 miles away? How's life right now, Travis? Would you ever consider live streaming? Life is great. I can't complain. I'm doing really good, man. Probably the best that I've ever done. You know, and it has nothing to do with my YouTube income. YouTube is part of my income, but, you know, I have a far bigger income that I'm not going to get into. But I'm doing pretty well for myself right now. Your thoughts on or prediction for AJ versus Klitschko? You know what? When they first started talking about this fight, I said AJ's going to beat him. AJ might end up knocking him out and finish him off. But then I started thinking about it. I was like, man, Klitschko's going to be on a mission. And Klitschko's a really smart fighter. You know, so he just might school Anthony Joshua. And then Anthony Joshua will walk this earth like a hype job. I don't know, man. I might have said AJ before. I might have said Vladimir Klitschko. But you know what? I think Vladimir Klitschko is going to school Anthony Joshua. I think, you know, Anthony Joshua is really slow, man. He's strong. But, you know, are you going to be able to catch up to Vladimir Klitschko? But Vladimir Klitschko has been knocked out 3 times, I believe. But I don't know if Anthony Joshua will be able to catch up to him. You know, right now my prediction is Vladimir Klitschko by unanimous decision. But we're going to get into that later, man. That's a really good fight. I'm glad they made it, but that's a tough one. Black, Asian, Latin, white, Haitian, Indian, what's the best type of pussy you had, G? You know, I went to this R&R in Bahrain when I was in the Army. And we went and paid for some pussy at a hotel. And I had this girl who was from Thailand. And you know, they had like, they all lined up. It was like 15 of them. And me and one of my boys went there, and you buy the room for an hour. It was like $100 an hour, then $125 for each girl. You can pick each one, whatever one you want. It was 15 of them. It was just like surrounded us. And I took the one that was like the translator. Well, she did all of the talking, you know, because not all of them could speak English. And I think that was like pretty far up there. You know, it was like, it was nice, man. It was a really good experience, and I enjoyed it a lot. All right, Keith Thurman versus Canelo. Who will win? Y'all with these fantasy matchups, it's driving me crazy, man. I mean, I saw. I'm gonna probably scroll down and I'm gonna see Terrence Crawford versus Errol Spence. Look, Keith Thurman is a welterweight. Canelo is a junior middleweight who really should be at middleweight. Canelo will knock out Keith Thurman. Keith Thurman is a welterweight. He's a little guy. He's 5'7". You know, Canelo might even have the height advantage for a change. And he's so much bigger. He's going to come into that. Like, when Keith Thurman isn't training, he's not training for a fight, he's like 170 pounds. Canelo on fight night is going to be 180 pounds, man. And weigh in at 154. Like, come on, be for real, bro. Like, Keith Thurman might rehydrate to like 155, 160 at the most. Canelo knocked the fuck out of Keith Thurman, man. Canelo knocked the fuck out of a lot of people. You know, they step up and they see what time it is. I've recently been looking at boxing, and could you recommend me some good matches? You know, I've been looking at some boxing too lately. You know, I just throw it on the TV when I'm not doing nothing. And I got the Showtime. I got Showtime and HBO. So I got the Showtime Anytime apps, and I have the HBO Go app. So, you know, any fight that I want to see, I can just go and search for it on that network. But the thing is, with PBC, you can't find those fights. But I don't know if you want to be a boxer or not, because you know, I don't know if that's why you're looking at boxing or just as a fan. But I'm taking it you're looking as a fan. Look, Broner's been acting up lately, and I watched the Broner versus Maidana first fight recently. I mean, it was hilarious, man. That second round was the shit. You know, I'm a little bit frustrated with Broner right now, what he doing. So watching him get beat up like that was pretty entertaining. You know, I really enjoyed it a lot. And watching him, you know, go through hell in that fight. You know, forgive me for being so cruel, man, but, you know, I watched that fight. I watched Thurman versus Porter twice today. You know, and I saw Porter backing up a little bit more than I would have liked him to, especially with his style. It was like kind of shocking when I was looking at it. And I told y'all that I felt like Thurman won the fight, but still, 7-5. You should never be backing up. But I think Porter did a really good job. And who's that? The Mayweather versus Canelo fight was entertaining. It was a shutout, but you know, you got to see like Floyd at his best, you know what I'm saying, put on his A game. That was a really good fight, man. You know, for Floyd, like put on a showcase against a really, really good opponent. And then watching what Canelo's doing today just let you know how good Mayweather was. Bro, I want Lil G to send you some stuff to wear. I wouldn't wear it. I don't know. If he did send me some stuff, he would never send me anything. So, you know, that's kind of ridiculous to say, but I would never buy Triple G's gear. You know, he's one of the fighters, maybe like the only fighter that I genuinely don't like. You know, it's just because it's too many contradictions, man. He's a hypocrite, and he contradicts himself, and he act like a coward at times. He's extremely difficult to negotiate with, but you're supposed to be like the most feared fighter of all time. And then ESPN think you like top 25 and shit like that of all time. It's just like, if you as good as how they acting like, you wouldn't have a problem going up to 168. Like, you got this power against these 160 pounders. You know what it is? His power isn't going to show up the same at 168. If he go up to 168, he's going to lose. Absolutely. But, you know, that's another story, man. We ain't going to get too far into Triple G. But, you know, that would be nice if he did. Tell Abel Sanchez to send me some shit with Triple G, either one of the motherfuckers. And we'd go from there. But I would never, ever buy their gear, ever. Bro, I love and hate your channel. LOL. First of all, a lot of people love and hate my channel. You know, all of the haters watch my videos, whether they admit it or not. And it's all good, man. Most of the views that I get come from people that's not subscribed to my channel. So, at least y'all watching the videos, man. My question is do you think Deontay Wilder has it easy? He never fights anybody in the top 10. Yeah, but, a lot of top fighters got it easy. Deontay Wilder got it easy, yeah. He can fight whoever he want to fight, but, when you make it to that point where you're a big name, especially if you're a world champion, and you selling a lot of tickets, you can fight whoever you want to fight. And he was just robbed of his career-defining moment against Alexander Povetkin because Povetkin was on dope, so you can't forget about that. If that fight would have happened and he would have knocked out Alexander Povetkin like I figured he would, then, you wouldn't even be asking that question. So, yeah, he got it easy, but he got a good promoter. He's selling a lot of tickets, so it is what it is. Do you go to all the local LA fights? Nope, I only go to the big fights. They have LA Live all the time, but I ain't going to that shit, man. Fuck it. Shout out to Willie Monroe. I really like his boxing style. I'm a fan of the Cuban boxing school because of Laura. Shout out. That was love for him to do that. Here we go. I told you. Who you think will win? Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford. I really don't like that question. I really don't. Errol Spence is a welterweight. Terrence Crawford is a junior welterweight. I don't believe Terrence Crawford is ready for welterweight, and Errol Spence is one of the biggest welterweights. But Terrence Crawford got some power at 140. It's just like, I don't like all of this mix and matching with these weight classes and shit, man. Because if Terrence Crawford move up to 147 and fight Errol Spence, if he get knocked out, Errol Spence wouldn't even get the credit. They'd be like, he was too small. And then if Terrence Crawford dominate Errol Spence, then they'd say he was just a prospect. He ain't even really done shit. I don't know who to win that fight. I pick Errol Spence, just because he's a bigger fighter in a bigger weight class. But that's ridiculous. And it probably won't ever happen. At least for about 3 or 4 years. Maybe never, because Errol Spence might be moving up and then before Terrence Crawford move up. All right, KOD Testimonies. Shout out to KOD Testimonies. He's the guy with the suit on with the gold tie. Very pro-black, but not racist. I've seen somebody try to race bait him recently, like in the last week, and he refused to fall for it. So, shout out to KOD Testimonies. And he just said, can I get a shout out? Please support the American black fighter. And shout out to KOD Testimonies, man. Keep doing your thing. A lot of people say that Floyd Mayweather lost his first fight with Jose Luis Castillo, but I personally thought it was a draw. Who do you think won that fight? Honestly, I went back and watched the fight, and I thought Floyd lost the fight, to be honest. You know what I'm saying? I thought he lost the fight. Probably like about 7-5. And if somebody had it a draw, then I don't know, that's kind of pushing it. But I thought he lost it. And then when you see the punch stats, then it lets you know that he should have lost that fight. Let you know. This statement might come back to bite me later when I'm defending Floyd, but hey, it is what it is, man. I thought that he lost that fight, but he came back and he dominated the guy, and he said something about an injury, and maybe that was why his performance wasn't all that. But you shouldn't have took the fight, and you should have lost. But it don't matter how you win as long as you win, right? That don't mean just how in the ring. He was promoted by Top Rank by then, and Top Rank was going to give it to their A-side fighter no matter what. Floyd Mayweather won the fight at the end of the day, so that's all that matters. But I think that he should have lost. Okay. What up, G? Wanted to quickly ask you, what's your favorite Maidana fight? I've been rewatching a lot of his old fights recently, and I swear his matches were always A1 entertainment. I gotta say the damn Broner one, man. He smacked Broner silly. And Broner was undefeated. That fight was like shocking to watch, man. Broner was running around doing all of this talking. Like at that time, Broner was the man. Besides Floyd, Broner was the man. Talking all of this shit. Everybody is just praising him and everybody want to talk to him. He was just that guy. And then he took that fight and Maidana slapped his ass from pillar to post. And then after that one, I would say the Victor Ortiz one. That was pretty entertaining too. Both fighters went down in that fight. Yo, Trav, do you think Garcia has a chance against Thurman? People doubted him against Conor and Matisse. No, I don't think he has a chance. I think he's going to get knocked out late in the fight. Maybe I don't know, 6 to 8, somewhere around there, from mid to late rounds. But even if it go to the cards, I think it won't be close. I think I said that earlier in the video. Official fight prediction on Ward versus Kovalev. I'm predicting Kovalev to score the knockout around the late rounds. I think I think Andre Ward isn't the fighter that he used to be, and I think he's going to show in that fight. And I think he's not going to win the fight, and he's not going to be able to hit Kovalev hard enough to keep Kovalev off of him. And I think he's going to win the fight by knockout. Kovalev's going to win the fight by knockout. All right, man. Canelo constantly get criticized by the media for not moving up to fight Triple G. Why do you think people don't hold Triple G to the same standard as other fighters like Manny, Floyd, Ward, etc., and don't ask Triple G to move up or down to fight motherfuckers? It's because boxing fans is biased. You know, whether they bias based on race or they're biased just because they like that fighter. You know, like a couple of my close friends, man, like this guy, he's Puerto Rican, but like he's kind of like black looking. And he's a Triple G fanboy. I used to argue with him. We ended up like falling out. You know, you lose friends over this boxing shit. If somebody gets to insulting you too much just because of your boxing opinion, like you could literally like lose friends. It's that serious. You know, I mean, it's just because like a fighter is not giving us the fight that we want to see, man. And another one of my friends that I talk to on a regular basis from the UK, I won't say his name because I'm just not gonna say his name. But he's black as hell, you know, and he's biased too. He don't care about any facts, anything negative. He just like Triple G. He like his style. He's been following his career for a long time, and he's gonna defend him no matter what. It don't matter. So these boxing fans are biased. It don't matter. It don't matter what happens. Keith Thurman versus Errol Spence. Who would you root for? Who would I root for? Come on, man. You know me. I would definitely root for Errol Spence, but, you know, all bullshit aside, I think that Errol Spence would actually defeat Keith Thurman. You know what I'm saying? When you look at their styles, and Errol Spence is looking like unstoppable, man. You know, can't nobody fuck with him at 147 right now. All right. Let's see. Errol Spence versus Danny Garcia. Who wins? That's like laughable, bro. Errol Spence will knock the fuck out of Danny Garcia, man. Broner versus Crawford at 140. Who wins? Crawford would dominate. H in the problem, Broner. Dominate unanimous decision. Do you think the state of boxing will improve in the next 5 years or get worse? I don't know, man. I don't really look that far ahead. I do think that we need a cash cow. You know what? I think that it can't do nothing but get better from this point right here. You know, we're going to go this whole year without a pay-per-view selling 1 million pay-per-view buys. You know, there's no really big blockbuster pay-per-view stars in boxing, no more. You know, no more Super Bowls of boxing, nothing. You know, so I think that, yes, it will improve because it can't get no worse. What up, Travis? I've been watching all your videos since October 2015. Okay, I wanted to see if it was a question at the end of that. I started reading it a little bit too quick. And still do to this day. Keep up the good work, bro. And how do you see the welterweight division playing out on 2017? And would you want to see? Who would you want to see? Is that what you meant? Or what fights would you want to see? All right. I think, you know, the welterweight division, I think that Keith Thurman is going to defeat Danny Garcia and take that WBC title, right? He's going to have the WBA and the WBC. Now, Errol Spence, I believe, one way or another, he's going to end up getting that IBF title. Top Rank is going to continue to do whatever they want to do with that WBO title. Even though the fights could be made, they're going to continue cherry picking and taking turns fighting each other for that belt. So forget about that. The winner of the Pacquiao Vargas fight is probably going to fight Bradley. Unless it's Pacquiao. But if Vargas wins, he's definitely going to fight Bradley. Now, Thurman becomes the unified champion at 147. Errol Spence has the IBF belt. We're going to be asking for that fight. We're going to be begging for that fight. Will Keith Thurman give it to us? We don't know. But Errol Spence is going to be asking for it. And we just have to see. We have to see, man. But that's going to be a really dope fight when it happens. Would you rock some Thurman gear? Probably not. I don't even think he got any gear. But you know, I wouldn't wear Thurman's gear or Triple G's gear. If he sent it to me, and it maybe I don't know, man, but I don't know. I really like. I don't want to contradict myself because I said anybody send me any gear, then I would wear it. But y'all know that Thurman and Triple G is my enemy, so like for y'all to say that, y'all kind of like y'all got me fucked up. Y'all got me fucked up. Can you share your opinion on what's going on with Triple G and Canelo? Who do you think is the reason why that fight hasn't reached an agreement yet? Do you think it's just a Mayweather versus Pacquiao stunt? Mayweather versus Pacquiao actually happened. Pacquiao ducked the fight for a long time. Floyd Mayweather was blamed for it. A stunt is fake. Mayweather versus Pacquiao actually happened. And this isn't Mayweather versus Pacquiao. I don't know why people say 60-40 like that's the rule. That was just Mayweather and Pacquiao for like that really big fight. But look at all of the other fights in Mayweather's career. Nothing was 60-40. That's not the rule. That's a very rare exception. If somebody started talking about 60-40 similar to like what Mayweather and Pacquiao did in the fight can marinate and all of that shit, they ducking that fight. Amir Khan said similar things about Kell Brook. Just to later say he never want to fight Kell Brook. I think Triple G is at fault. Canelo said that he'd move up to 160 to fight him and he'll pay him $10 million. Triple G, the highest payday that he ever made was $5 million. So, you know, Triple G is at fault here. Canelo's taking the risk and offering the big money, and Triple G said no. So that's why we don't have a fight. What's the song that you play at the beginning of your videos? It's DJ Paul, You Scared. DJ Paul, You Scared. Have you heard of MMA Quick Hits? And what do you think about him? No, I don't think I've heard of MMA Quick Hits. What do you think of Matisse's inactivity? And who do you think Canelo will be facing next? I ain't really thinking about no damn Lucas Matisse. He could retire for all I care. And I think Canelo's going to be fighting Willie Monroe Jr. next. You know, Willie Monroe got the contract. And I'm not just saying that because he sent me some gear. I'm saying that because that's how I feel. Willie Monroe Jr. got the contract. Canelo is coming back for a February fight. He's going to try to fight 3 times in 2017. You know, the Mexican holidays and like the middle of February. So I think that Willie Monroe Jr. is going to get that fight. You think if Maypac fight on free TV, you think it would make more money than having it on pay-per-view? Hell nah. You can charge $70 per person on damn pay-per-view. You know, like the first fight, what they made like $600 million or $500 million, they would have never made that on free TV. You know, the Super Bowl, they be on free TV and they make a lot of money off of commercials, but shit, if Mayweather and Pacquiao fight again, not too many people might not even watch it just for free. The hype is gone with that fight. It's really just a wrap. If they have the fight again, then they would probably sell like 2.5 to 3 million pay-per-view buys. But that shit is done and over with. Hell no, they won't make that much on free TV. All right, man. Do you think that championship fights should go 15 rounds? It would have changed a lot of decisions in the past. What's wrong going 15 rounds again instead of 12 rounds? Good job, Travis. Smitty Smith. I don't know if they thought that it was unsafe. I think something happened to one of these fighters. I think he might have like passed out of dehydration or something like that. And they switched it to 12 rounds. But yeah, you know, some of these fights would end differently if it was a 13th round. Like if you look at a fight like Jessie Vargas versus Tim Bradley. Excuse me. It's really late. You look at a fight like Vargas versus Bradley, and Vargas hurt him like in the last 10 seconds of the fight, the 12th round. What if they had to go again? You know, they had to go out there and have a 13, 14, 15 round. Like, Bradley looked really hurt. He could have finished him off. He really could have. You never know. But they'll never go back to 15 rounds, so there ain't really no point. Okay, what do you think about the white racist ass crackers they call the police killing us? As a voice, what would your message be to the black community? I already typed that wrong. All right, first of all, don't ever ever call white people crackers. Don't ever do it. Look, if you want to be heard by, say, white people, you want to be heard by everybody. But, you know, white people is behind all of this shit. What you did was just call their entire race a racial slur. You know, even the ones that aren't racist, or, I mean, the ones that's not, like, committing police brutality. So they're never going to take you seriously because you calling people crackers. So, you know, if you want to make a change and you want to have some kind of impact, don't ever call anybody no racist slur. I don't promote racism towards any race, whether it's black on white, white on black, black on black, you know, calling people coons and shit. But as a voice, what would your message be to the black community? And what do you think about the white racists killing us? You know what? I started another channel. Travis Gotti TV is still up. I upload pretty like good videos like every now and then. It'd be live videos, whether I'm like on one of my scooters or hoverboard or something like that. You know, subscribe to that channel, Travis Gotti TV. But, you know, I was keeping up with the news and the politics, and I stopped because it was driving me crazy. And it was making me like paranoid to leave the house, thinking like police is gonna kill me or something like that. It's just like, but what would be my message? I don't know, man. Stay as far away from the police as you possibly can. And if they pull you over, then shit, just hope for the best, man. I don't know what to tell you, man. I get scared as shit when I see the police. You know, I kind of like nod my head to kind of like speak to them. But in a way, I'm thinking to myself like, please don't stop me. Please don't harass me. Please don't kill me. You know, it's really like fucked up, you know, what we got to go through as black people in this country. You know, it's not all of the police, but some of them, a few bad apples ruin a whole batch. So just keep your head up. Try to stay positive. I went to a festival. They had Black Lives Matter shirts. And my message to the black community, man, I don't know, man. Shit. That's tough, man. I really don't have the answers because it's like racism has been going on for so long in this country. You know, it's like, and it's still going on. You know, I mean, Rodney King was like 25 years ago, 20 years ago. They still having Rodney Kings, but now they shooting us and choking us out like that guy that they choked out. I think it was in New York. They got the whole thing on video and they found that officer not guilty when obviously he was using excessive force. It's like, it's nothing that we can do. I don't recommend, look here. You know, I got to be careful what I say on these videos, but look here. You know, it's black people getting killed by the police and it's police getting killed by black people. Now, what I'm going to say is, hey, they killing us, we killing them, and in order for any changes to happen, they got to stop killing us, man. Because, you know, and then they try to blame it on us and act like we the bad guys when we just reacting to like a bad situation. So the change starts with them. But we had a black president and he still didn't do nothing about this shit. So I don't know what the fuck is going on. Damn, that shirt is mad dope. It is dope as hell, too. It's dope than a motherfucker. Shout out to Willie Monroe for hooking me up, man. I'm gonna order some more shirts, too. Like, I'm gonna order a red shirt with the same logo as that hat. And I've been meaning to order my DSG and Canelo gear for a long time. I've just been putting it off. I'm really just lazy. Too lazy to go to the website and shop. You know, that's really why I haven't done it. Why don't you talk about Demetrius Andre more? I think he's the most talented at 154 and 160 because he's not a big name. He was inactive for all of that time. He's not a big name. You know, like, if I make a video about him, it won't get many views because don't nobody really know about him and don't really care about him. Look, I don't expect my Roman Gonzalez videos to hit 1,000 views. You know, I did a couple of them recently, but, you know, I didn't expect them to hit 1,000. It took like about maybe 5 to 7 days for them to hit 1,000 when normally my videos definitely will have 1,000 in 2 days, if not one. Because most of the time they'd be at 1,000 in 1 day. It took like 5 to 7 days for the Roman Gonzalez videos to hit 1,000 views, both of them. And I believe, like, if I was to look right now, you know, they ain't even at 1,000. It's like 900 and something. So, you know, nobody don't care about him. He's still coming up, but he's a great fighter. What is your favorite decade of boxing and favorite boxer? My favorite boxer is Floyd Mayweather Jr. You know, I like watching you know, how he evades those punches, man. You know, you see these fighters looking so good against everybody else, and then when they get in there with him, it's like it's a completely different ball game. They're completely different fighters, and it's just like that mystique behind it. It's like I always wonder, like, damn, what the hell is he doing to make these fighters like not fight? They fight. You know, this isn't the same fighter that I saw fighting all those other guys. So Floyd Mayweather is my favorite fighter of all time. My favorite decade of boxing. That's really a tough question to ask or to answer because I'm only 33 years old. You know, that's like, I mean, I'm not a young guy, but I've only been alive 3 decades. You know, and I started watching boxing maybe when I was like 13. Let me see. About 1998. Floyd had been a professional for 2 years at that time. 1998. I was 15. I was born in 1983. Yeah, I was 15. So, you know, I only watched boxing for a couple years in the 90s. And then like the 2000s to 2010, you know, that's like almost all of the boxing that I was watching right there. And then I've been watching even more boxing this decade. So, you know, and it's only halfway through. So, I don't know, man. Just because like the 2000s was the only complete decade that I watched boxing, so I would have to go with that. Where they gave Pacquiao the fighter of the year, fighter of the decade, when Floyd should have got it, and Pacquiao had done lost and got knocked out in that decade and shit. Travis, how long have you boxed for, and were you ever in the Golden Gloves or the amateurs? Hope my question isn't too late. Nope. And I didn't box for too long, man, and I never was in the Golden Gloves or the amateurs. I boxed on the streets for a lot of years, since I was like 13, boxing everybody in my hood that wanted to box, and then I went to the Army and I was boxing everybody that wanted to box in the Army. But I just, like, I was going to the gym and they was really like trying to train me, man. I was like working out in the Army, and then I hit the gym like right after I get out of work, you know what I'm saying? And then I go there and now they just want to work out. I wanted to fight. You know, I'm already in shape. But they really wanted to just train and you know, do the bag work. I just didn't have the patience for it. And I was like 19, living in Virginia Beach. Virginia Beach is like a mini Las Vegas. You know, they had like some of the best clubs you'll ever find. I was just like, fuck it. I was into drinking and partying and shit at that time, so I didn't really go that far. I just went to the gym for like about 2 months, and I gave it up. Maybe not even 2 months, but I paid for 2 months. What's your top 10 pound for pound list? I don't have one. You know, I just go by what they have, the Ring Magazine has, and I just say whether I agree or disagree. Joshua versus Vladimir, who you got? It's a tough one, but I'm picking Vladimir to outbox Anthony Joshua. I'm hoping that I'm wrong because, you know, Vladimir old ass need to go sit down somewhere. And Anthony Joshua has the potential to, you know, take over the sport. Hey, Gotti. I know this is my third comment, but it's my last. Here's the question. Let me see. What is your personal opinion of the movement Black Lives Matter? Do you look at it as a misinterpreted meaning that no other race matters but blacks? Or do you think the movement is just saying that there's a problem in the black community with police officers that is being overlooked? Look, it's obvious that the police don't think that Black Lives Matter. I don't think that it's like a shot at all of the other races to say nobody else matters. Black Lives Matter is not trying to say no other race matters. Like, these people are out here trying to make Black Lives Matter sound like some kind of racist movement. They tried to do the same shit to Muhammad Ali. Like, you know, just because he was pro-black, they try to act like he was anti-white. And then they tried to, like, bait him and make him look like a racist on TV when he's not. You know, like I told y'all once before, black men make up 6% of America. But black men are 40% of the victims of police brutality, of unarmed victims. You know, when a police kill a civilian. Black lives don't matter to the police. In fact, sometimes the police might go out hunting black men. So, you know, I don't think that I think that only racists misinterpret it. And, you know, it's okay. Like if somebody, if a black person get killed wrongfully, it's okay for people to say Black Lives Matter. If a white person get killed wrongfully, it's okay for a white person to say White Lives Matter. If a Mexican or a Puerto Rican or a Hispanic person get killed, you know, it's okay for them to say Hispanic Lives Matter, Puerto Rican Lives Matter, Mexican Lives Matter. You know, I mean, it's not a problem. What's the problem is people running up behind black people who are grieving and, you know, interrupting their grieving process and saying, fuck Black Lives Matter, all lives matter. It's bullshit. It's not misinterpreted. It's only misinterpreted to people that want to misinterpret it. I don't know what the fuck Floyd Mayweather problem is. He been rich for too fucking long. You know, maybe he's lost touch of his people. He don't watch the news enough. Don't watch TV enough. But then he want to complain about racism in the sport of boxing, you know, while he was a boxer. All right. Do you think Broner will fight Crawford at 140 since he's going back down? Oh, yeah. Who do you think the three guys Canelo will fight in 2017 are? And do you think, or do you keep up with politics or anything? Russia's tripping right now, LOL. Talking some World War III type shit. I don't think Broner's going to fight Crawford at 140. Broner's going to price himself out. And rightfully so, because Crawford will beat the fuck out of him. And Crawford is not big enough for that fight to be a really big money fight to make Broner take the fight. Who are the three opponents you think Canelo's going to fight? I think he's going to fight Willie Monroe. He might fight Dave Lemieux. He could possibly fight Curtis Stevens. And you might get Billy Joe Saunders up in there. It could be Willie Monroe, Billy Joe Saunders, and then Dave Lemieux. But I don't think that the Triple G fight is going to happen next year. Triple G need to get his mind right and take the money. If not, then fuck him. How do we support them black fighters better? And why don't fans go for who's best instead of who looks that part? The part. Just wondering, last question. Would you like to see Canelo versus Andrade? How do we support them black fighters better? Look here, your comment and question kind of contradicts itself. You said, how do we support them black fighters better? And then you said, why don't fans go for who's best instead of who looks the part? So you talking about supporting black fighters, but you saying, why don't fans go for who's best instead of who looks the part? That is definitely contradictory. But I don't know. I don't know why. I mean, I guess people want somebody who looks like them to be successful, to win. You can kind of like picture, oh, that's me up in there. You know, like act like it's you or whatever. I don't know why people do that. I mean, I just, you know, I go for, well, you know, I kind of root for the fighters that's my own. But if I feel like a black fighter is going to lose a fight, then he's going to lose a fight regardless. You know what I'm saying? Whether I want him to win or not. Like, I want Andre Ward to beat Sergey Kovalev, but I feel like Kovalev is going to win the fight. So, you know, it's just like, you know, it's kind of like some people got national pride. A lot of people got national pride based on where they live at. The United States, right? You know, say if a United States fighter is fighting a UK fighter, it's going to be like UK versus the US. Now, sometimes it'd be like black versus white, or even let's say Puerto Rican versus Mexican. And you know, Puerto Ricans root for the Puerto Rican and Mexicans root for the Mexican. Now when it's a black and a white fighter, it's kind of like people get sensitive and shit. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, it's not the same as Puerto Rican versus Mexican, UK versus US, but it should be the same. But it's just like so many races. Just being like for your own is cool, but when you take that to the point where you start seeing like unnecessary ignorant comments, then it's just like might be going a little bit too far. Would I like to see Canelo versus Andre? You know, I don't really think about any of these fights what I would like to see, or, you know, possible fights that might not happen. I don't look at any of these fights. You know, I think these are fantasy fights that's never going to happen. Andre isn't a name. And Canelo is the biggest name in boxing. So that fight isn't going to happen. And I don't fantasize over any fights that I don't believe is gonna happen. I don't think he's gonna fight that guy, and I don't. And that's just where I leave it. You know, I don't picture. It's just too much, man. I ain't about to get my heart broken by any of these guys, and I don't really take this sport. I mean, I take the sport seriously, but you know, at the same time, it's like fighters don't always fight the best. They fight the biggest names, but even the biggest names, sometimes they don't fight because they think they might lose. So, you know, I'm not really interested in the fight. You know, if boxing was different, then yeah, I would like to see it. But the best don't fight the best. And Andre's standing is kind of low right now because of his inactivity. And Canelo's standing is really high right now. Do you get bitches? Damn, I got to the end? Oh, shit. Oh, man, I got to the end. I must have missed a question here and there. I'm going to have to go back through them. All right, do I get bitches? No, I have a girl. I'm faithful, and that's what it is. You know, I'm 33 years old, man. You know, when you, like in your early 20s or whatever, you know, maybe 18, 19, 20 or something like that, you'd be like trying to get a bunch of females and, you know, trying to run up behind a lot of chicks, man. But, you know, I'm grown. I'm old, I guess. You know, somebody in their 20s could say I'm old. Definitely for boxing years. You know, Triple G is like my age, and he's going to be nearing retirement soon. All right, man. But, no, I don't get no bitches. It was the last question. Shit, I went back and all the way back to the top to refresh the whole thing, but let me get to that last one. Somebody with like orange next to it. Oh, here we go. What's up, Gotti? Have you ever rapped before? Also, would you collaborate with anyone to make a trap? Yeah, I used to want to be a rapper, man. My MySpace page is still up. I can't remember my password to get into my account. I got 10 songs on MySpace. It's myspace.com/LilTrap151. That's LILTRAP 151. It's 10 songs that I recorded and I posted on MySpace. I'm going to put a link in the description of this video so you can go and check it out. If, you know, hopefully I remember, but, you know, I rap, but maybe I could collaborate. Maybe. I don't know. I don't have like a mic and you know, I don't have the setup where I could record anything, you know, and I'm not really interested in being a rapper, so probably not. You know, probably not. It's not my thing. You know, I don't think that it's just not my thing. And it's really hard to blow up in the rap game. So if I was to do that, it would just be like something that, like a hobby or something. But I haven't even written a rap in like 10 years or something like that. You know, I can freestyle pretty good, but I don't know. It's something to think about. You know, why don't you like hook me up with some links or something like that, you know, or some beats or some of your music if you rap. Shit, I just might. I thought about, you know, being a promoter. You know, before I started doing this channel, I was promoting for a record label back in Grand Rapids. And it didn't really work. It didn't work out. I was starting to get popular, but I was starting to get a lot of haters. And it didn't work out. And I was supposed to start rapping for them, but I never wanted to. I just wanted to promote the record label. So, you know, I was thinking about getting involved in that. I do have some kind of following on here, and I might be able to do something. So, you know, we never know what happens in the future, man. But right now, I'm not really that interested in doing it. All right, let's see what's going on. I'm going to go back over these comments. It's like 10 comments, 10 extra ones now. Since I started this video, it's been like 10 more. Oh, shit. What the fuck? Okay, there's somebody arguing in the comments. Somebody's arguing with 68 Triumphant. You know, I'm a really big fan of 68 Triumphant's and channel. He has haters, but, you know, I love his channel. I love his work. You know, he does impersonations sometimes. I really don't like those impersonations when he be doing that. But, you know, I think he's pretty entertaining and knowledgeable, and I enjoy watching his channel. The channels, I only watch just a few channels on a regular basis in a ytbc. I watch 78 on a regular. I catch every single one of 78's videos. I watch 68's videos. I watch every single one of his videos. Besides, he's on some crazy shit right now, uploading rap videos. Stop doing that. I want to hear about boxing. I don't watch. Don't nobody want to see those rap videos. We're not here for that. We're here for boxing. But you know, I enjoy his channel, man. And Northwest Boxing, I try to catch all of his videos. You know, while we at it, while we having this conversation, let me go to my subscriptions. Just so I can tell y'all. I watch all of Blood Boxing's videos too, but he don't really upload that often. And I think I heard him say he's not going to do it because boxing is fucked up right now. But it is what it is, man. I've been watching Dante off and on. Did I say Northwest Boxing? I watch him. Every boxing video he uploads, he's uploading like a lot of political stuff. And, you know, I watched some of that stuff too, but I'm really behind because he's like uploaded like about 7 or 8 of them that I haven't watched yet. Other than that, you know, everybody else I watch every now and then, but I don't make it a point to catch every single one of their videos besides Northwest, 78, and 68. All right, man, I'm going to try to like scroll down these comments to see if I missed any. Okay, UFC Lifestyle. I knew I didn't see your comment when I was scrolling down there. That's Zone 6 Boxing. He's a little bit fed up with boxing right now. I actually accidentally unsubscribed from his channel because I thought I subscribed to something random when I was drunk, you know, and then until I realized that I didn't have him on my sub list no more. And I think 68 had brought him up. That's the only way that I knew that I had unsubscribed from his channel. You know, because I was like, where's Zone 6 at? And then I searched for him. That's how I found him. Your top 5 greatest fighters of all time. Unfortunately, Zone 6, I'm not a historian. I don't care about the fighters who were before me. I really don't. There's so many fights that's going on today and fighters to keep up with today. I don't really care about these fighters of yesterday. So, you know, my top 5 greatest fighters of all time, you know, are going to be fighters of my time and not of all time. Possibly. You know, Floyd is like my number 1 of all time. And that's arguable, debatable, but Floyd ain't never got his ass whooped. He done beat more champions than all of those fighters in the past. So I'm going to give you my top 5 greatest fighters of all time. Floyd Mayweather Jr., Lennox Lewis, Felix Trinidad, Roy Jones Jr., and we had to have one more. Bernard Hopkins. I hate Bernard Hopkins' style, man, but he's accomplished so much, man. His accomplishments might even be bigger than Roy Jones because he was kept winning a belt like at that age and shit. But yeah, Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson, Roy Jones Jr., Felix Trinidad, Floyd Mayweather Jr., Bernard Hopkins. That's my top 5 greatest fighters. But, you know, like I said, I don't follow these fighters. I probably only watched like 2 Sugar Ray Leonard fights, maybe 3. I watched both of the Duran fights. I watched a few Ali fights. And Evander Holyfield was kind of like towards my time. I seen him get his ass whooped by Lennox Lewis. I was like a kid then when he was like in his prime. You know, like boxing fans today, very few of them will remember the Holyfield who had the fade. You know, you have to be in your 40s, maybe even late 40s, to remember Holyfield with hair. All right. If I get quiet for a second, just know that I'm scrolling through these comments. How long can these fighters go without fighting a mandatory or unification bout? Is it by fighter's choice or promoter? Sick of this shit. Sick of this shit. It actually depends on the fighter, how big the fighter is, because Floyd Mayweather never had to fight his mandatories. The last mandatory he fought was Robert Guerrero, and before that, I can't remember. You know, and shit, some fighters are forced. Some fighters are forced to fight their mandatories, and some fighters are not. Floyd Mayweather seemed like one of the only fighters that didn't have to fight a mandatory. Everybody else has to fight mandatories. Floyd didn't care about giving up the belts either, though, because the sanction bodies used to try to flex on Floyd, and he'd just be like, I'll give up the belt. You know, sanction body don't run me, tell me what to do. But they backed down because they wanted Floyd to have their belt. So, you know, some sanctioning bodies require fighters to fight against their mandatory every 9 months. Other sanctioning bodies is like every 12 months, every year. But it's I don't know. It depends on the fighter. It's not by a fighter's choice, really. Unless you, I mean, if you got a really good promoter and it's the fighter's choice, then they might be able to get them out of that fight. Just like Keith Thurman decided not to fight his Minotaur, even though he can beat him, David Avanesi. He's just like, I don't think I'm going to fight my Minotaur. I'm looking at doing something bigger. And I was fighting Danny Garcia. And his Minotaur is going to have to wait. You know, big name fighters can make these fighters wait. So, yeah, they all got to fight against their Minotaurs, but how long are you willing to wait? I think David Avanesian might as well just fight Errol Spence, you know, and then Errol Spence can become the mandatory to that WBA title. That's how I feel about that. Let's see what we got going on. I'm just going through the comments to see if I missed any. Once again, shout out to KOD Testimonies, pro-black but not racist. Pro-black don't mean anti-white. You know, it's a lot of pro-white channels out here, you know, and some people call them racist, but maybe they're not racist. They just stand up for their own, just like black channels stand up for their own. Shout out to KOD Testimonies. All right. Just going through these comments again to see what I didn't answer. You know, it's actually raining in LA right now. I started to leave the window open just because I wanted to hear the rain coming in, but I didn't want it to sound like the video was frying, so I didn't do it. But, you know, it's sound pretty good, man. I'm from Michigan. It used to rain all the time there. And it don't rain that much in LA. Probably like 6 days a year or shit, I don't know. It don't happen that often. All right. It's like I'm pretty much almost through all of these comments. Going down. Oh yeah, just to let y'all know, my block list tripled after that video I made about races. Let me see. So y'all know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I think y'all already know what I'm talking about. And oh yeah, about Amir Khan fans crying racism. My block list tripled after that video. You know, and most of the blocks came from that video. Now, a lot of people thought that I was playing. You know, a lot of those came from maybe like Muslims or whatever, or Pakistanis. I don't know. So a lot of those blocks came from them. They just said something inflammatory and caused themselves to get blocked. And a couple people, like one guy, black guy, I've seen in the comment section of Shady Slim's videos. Look, just because you see a black face on a picture and a black name don't mean that these people are black. They're trolls. And he was talking shit in the comments, and, you know, I blocked his ass. And I blocked a lot of people. You know, if you wanted to talk some shit to me, it probably wasn't the best idea to try to talk shit to me on a video where I'm saying I will block people that direct personal insults at me for no reason just because of my boxing opinion. So, you know, my block list tripled that day. And you call me a racist, you're getting blocked too. And you call me racial slurs, you just might get blocked. You don't have to be real careful when you're talking to me because I run this channel. I have the power to block you. I have the power to eliminate you. So you got to be careful when you're talking to me. Talk to anybody else however you want to talk to them. But if you talk to me that way, I'll just block you. No questions asked, no warning. I don't have to warn you. I don't have to be nice. And some people were saying, oh man, just let people say whatever they want. Well, you can make that decision when you have a YouTube channel because this is my channel. See? And I was very clear in my statement in that video. And it's not negotiable. You can't tell me nothing. I'm going to block whoever the fuck I want to block. You know what I'm saying? My no means no and my yes means yes. I'm a fucking leader. It's not, oh, I'm going to tell you something and then you're going to come back and say, oh, no, bro, do it this way. No, fuck that. This is my shit. I'm going to do it my way. They get wrong. They get blocked. Simple as that. And I just found a new comment from somebody that's going to get blocked as soon as I stop this video. You know, it's not me being emotional. It's just me not dealing with bullshit. You know, because I can care less. Once I see you being like that, I just block you. It's not really like, it's not sparking no anger or no emotion in me. It's just like, okay, that's another guy I got to block. Keep this comment section clean. Okay, that's all of the questions, man. So thank you for tuning in to my 4th edition of my Q&A. It's been fun. And yeah, man, I'm gonna keep doing these every 3 weeks. So, every 2 to 3 weeks. So be looking forward to my next Q&A, probably like the first week of November, and then we get close to Lomachenko versus Walters fight and the War versus Kovalev fight. And we got the Danny Garcia cherry pick coming up. So, November is going to be a pretty decent month for boxing. We got 2 big fights in November. So, we got those fights to look forward to, man. But I'm going to go ahead and let y'all go. I'm Travis Gotti. Thank you for tuning in to Travis Gotti Boxing.